Guys, this is a very important story now that we are about to share with you. Raiders head coach Jon Gruden reportedly reached out to the Bears about the availability of Khalil Mack. Yeah, the same Khalil Mack he traded for a bunch of draft picks back in 2018. Gruden reportedly cried for 3 days after dealing away the pass rusher and checked in on potentially getting him back. The Bears are like, no, dude, we're not falling for that. So let's take a look at both teams here. Raiders, plus 350 to make the playoffs this season. The Bears, plus 210. Which is the better bet, Geoff?
No kidding. They're not going to trade back Khalil Mack. They're not dumb, Emerson. Of course Jon Gruden wants Khalil Mack. Guess where they ranked in sacks per game last year? Third last, 1.3 per game. Jon Gruden has probably been crying every day since Khalil Mack left because they don't have a pass rush. Yes, this is a big hole in the Vegas defense. It was last year. It's probably going to be again. You know, Max Crosby, Yannick Ngakoue, maybe they improve a little bit, but it's not going to be anything like having Khalil Mack in there. So, you know, again, let's talk about the postseason back quickly. Vegas is in a tough spot. Denver, Chargers, these are pretty good teams, especially Denver with that defense. They get any quarterbacking, they're going to be a tough team. You got to take the Bears here. They're in the weaker division. They get Detroit a couple times. If they can overcome those games versus Minnesota, Fields gets in there. I like their shot better. I'm not super high on either of these teams, but there's no way I'm taking the Raiders. Maybe Chicago makes the trade just because, you know, they feel bad for Jon Gruden or something. But until that happens, I'll be on the Chicago side of this bet.
Well, Kenny, an interesting note here this morning, too, from Adam Schefter. Matt Nagy said this morning Justin Fields is going to start on Saturday versus the Titans and play roughly 2 quarters.
It's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I expected Justin Fields to start week 1 all along. You have Andy Dalton stepped into that Cowboys team with about 8 number 1 wide receivers and couldn't
Penny
do
and I
anything.
have been all over this, Emerson. We've been all over this, Kenny.
We've been all over it. They never want to name the starter, but everyone knew. Look, here's the thing with this bet, right? The AFC, it's much more difficult to make the playoffs. At least it was the last couple of years. There's just way too many talented teams fighting for wild card spots. The Bears made the playoffs last year, if you don't remember, and there are plenty of regression candidates in the NFC. Are the Saints going to be as good this year without Drew Brees? That's a big question. Do the Vikings take another step back? I think that there's plenty of candidates here to miss the playoffs that might have made it last year. When you look at the Bears, this is a team that was top 10 in DVOA on defense, number 4 against the rush. This is a very good defense. There's a reason, as Geoff said, that Jon Gruden wants Khalil Mack back. You look at the Raiders, they had one of the worst defenses in the league last year. Now they lose to Marcus Joyner. They brought in Yannick Ngakoue. Big whoop. This is still a team that's going to lead the league in personal foul penalties and undisciplined defense. And Derek Carr, who's literally the most average quarterback in football. I think you would rank him right at 15 or 16 if you had to rank all the quarterbacks in the league. No, I have no faith in this Raiders team to make the playoffs. I actually think this Bears to make the playoffs bet is really, really solid at plus 210.